Available now. Link below.
We're at the brink of what could be the most pivotal moment in recent American political history. As the Supreme Court deliberates over whether former President Donald Trump should remain on the 2024 ballot, the nation watches with bated breath. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a fight for the soul of our republic. Across the country, Americans of all political stripes are questioning, what does this mean for our republic? And today we peel back the layers of this unprecedented case, revealing the truths, the tensions, and the political tremors it could send through our electoral system. But the story isn't just about the legal arguments or the political ramifications. It's about what it means for you, the voter. So stick with us until the end, because you don't want to miss our final thoughts on why this Supreme Court decision is a watershed moment for every American. Before we dive deeper into today's groundbreaking report, a quick word about our sponsor. In these tumultuous times when the very fabric of our republic is tested, it's crucial to stay informed and prepared. Just as our nation faces unprecedented challenges, so do households with soaring utility costs. That's right. And thanks to our sponsor's innovative new energy-saving device, you can take a stand against these hikes. This compact little device optimizes your home's power usage, slashing bills significantly. It's a small step towards regaining control in a world that feels increasingly unpredictable. Don't let this opportunity pass. Visit don'twastepower.com to claim your exclusive 65% off. Empower yourself, reduce your bills, and support the free flow of information. Now, back to our report. When a nation as divided as ours, it's rare to find a moment that could potentially unite us under the banner of a constitutional republic. Yet here we are, standing on the precipice of a Supreme Court decision that has the power to redefine the contours of our electoral landscape. The case at hand revolves around former President Donald Trump and the concerted efforts in states like Colorado and Maine to bar him from the 2024 presidential ballot, citing his alleged role in the events of January 6th. Now, this isn't merely a legal skirmish. It's an examination of our Constitution's resilience, a test of our collective commitment to the rule of law. And at the heart of this historic legal battle is a clause from the aftermath of the Civil War, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, designed to prevent those who engaged in insurrection against the United States from holding office. The Colorado Supreme Court application of the clause to Trump marked a bold assertion of state power over federal electoral eligibility criteria. But now, the U.S. Supreme Court's involvement signifies a crucial juncture, not just for Trump, but for the very principles underpinning our republic. Take a look.
In watching the Supreme Court today, I thought it's a very beautiful process. I hope that democracy in this country will continue, because right now we have a very, very tough situation with all of the radical left ideas, with the weaponization of politics. They weaponize it like it's never been weaponized before. It's totally illegal, but they do it anyway. And it has to stop. Every one of the court cases that I'm involved, every single one, civil, whether it's the attorney generals or the district attorneys. You look at Fani in Georgia. They had many meetings with the White House and with the DOJ. They went there, 8-hour meetings. That was all staged. That was a phony hoax. And now you look at it and it is a phony hoax. And hopefully that case will be dismissed in short order. It's a disgrace to this country. But they work together with the Justice Department and the White House, and not supposed to do that. Every one of these cases you see comes out of the White House. It comes out of Biden. It's election interference, and it's really very sad. I thought the presentation today was a very good one. I think it was well received. I hope it was well received. You have millions of people that are out there wanting to vote, and they happen to want to vote for me or the Republican Party, or whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. But I'm the one running, and we are leading in every poll. We're leading in the local polls, in the state polls, and we're leading in the swing state polls, and we're leading very big in the national polls. So it's been a very great honor.
As we delve into the complexities of this case, Trump's own words underscore the stakes. Speaking to reporters, Trump lauded the Supreme Court's proceedings as a very beautiful process, expressing hope for the continuation of democracy in the face of what he describes as radical left ideas and the weaponization of politics. His remarks reflect not just a personal battle for ballot access, but a broader concern for the integrity of our electoral system. And the skepticism shared by both conservative and liberal justices during the oral argument signals a reluctance to disqualify a candidate based on state-level interpretations of what constitutes insurrection. Questions from the bench revealed a cautious approach focusing on the necessity of congressional action before states can wield the 14th Amendment as a tool to influence presidential eligibility. The consensus among the justices transcending ideological lines suggests a shared understanding of the gravity of disenfranchising a leading presidential contender on constitutional grounds that remain open to interpretation. The implications of the case extend far beyond the immediate political fortunes of Donald Trump. They touch upon the fundamental question of who decides presidential eligibility, the states or Congress, and under what conditions. Justice Elena Kagan's inquiry, questioning why a single state should have the power to determine presidential candidacy, echoes the concerns of many Americans wary of fragmented electoral integrity. 8 of the 9 justices displayed openness to at least some of Trump's arguments, highlighting the unprecedented nature of this constitutional debate. The prospect of Trump winning the case by convincing the court of even one argument underscores the potential for a landmark ruling, one that could effectively end the campaign to keep him off the ballot in several states. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, though skeptical, did not unequivocally favor upholding the Colorado decision, indicating the complex legal waters the court navigates in the dispute. The court's hesitation to deeply engage with whether Trump engaged in insurrection suggests a preference for addressing the broader constitutional procedural questions at play. Let's take a look.
My view of the history, I'm wondering really whether presidential elections were such a circumstance, that the framers actually envisioned states enforcing Section 3 with respect to presidential elections as opposed to senatorial elections, representatives, the sort of more local concerns. So can you speak to the argument that really Section 3 was about preventing the South from rising again in the context of these sort of local elections as opposed to focusing on the presidency?
Well, 2 points on that, Justice Jackson. First is that, as I discussed earlier, there isn't the same history of states regulating ballot access at this time. So ballot access rules to restrict presidential candidates wouldn't have existed. They wouldn't have been raised one way or another.
Right, but I'm not making a distinction between ballot access and anything else.
Understood, but the more broad point I want to make is that what is very clear from the history is that the framers were concerned about charismatic rebels who might rise through the ranks up to and including the presidency of the United States.
But then why didn't they put the word president in the very enumerated list in Section 3? The thing that really is troubling to me is I totally understand your argument, but they were listing people that were barred, and president is not there. And so I guess that just makes me worry that maybe they weren't focusing on the president. And, for example, the fact that electors of vice president and president are there suggests that really what they thought was, if we're worried about the charismatic person, we're going to bar insurrectionist electors, and therefore that person is never going to rise.
This came up in the debates in Congress over Section 3, where Reverdy Johnson said, why haven't you included president and vice president in the language? And Senator Morrill responds, we have. Look at the language, any office under the United States.
Yes, but doesn't that at least suggest ambiguity? And this sort of ties into Justice Kavanaugh's point. In other words, we had a person right there at the time saying what I'm saying. The language here doesn't seem to include president. Why is that? And so if there's an ambiguity, why would we construe it to, as Justice Kavanaugh pointed out, against democracy?
Well, Reverdy Johnson.
So the liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's questioning further illuminates the court's deliberative process, challenging the application of the 14th Amendment to the presidency. Her remarks questioning the exclusion of the president from the amendment's purview reflect a judicial inclination towards protecting the democratic processes and the voters' right to choose their leaders. Trump's legal team argues against the application of the insurrection clause, emphasizing the absence of direct participation in the Capitol riot and questioning the characterization of the event as an insurrection. Their stance, supported by historical arguments and interpretations of constitutional texts, underscores the legal and factual complexities surrounding the case. The opposing side, representing voters who wish to see Trump disqualified, argues fervently for a straightforward application of the 14th Amendment. They contend that the events of January 6th meet the historical and legal criteria for insurrection and that Trump's actions and rhetoric incited the violence that day. Their case rests on a broad interpretation of the amendment, aiming to uphold the integrity of the electoral process and prevent those deemed to have attacked the democratic order from assuming high office. Yet as the justices grapple with these arguments, the broader ramifications for American democracy and our republic loom large. A ruling in favor of Trump could not only pave his way back to the White House, but also set a significant precedent regarding the balance of power between state and federal authorities in determining electoral eligibility. Conversely, a decision to disqualify Trump would not only dramatically alter the 2024 electoral landscape, but also signal a bold judicial stance on the consequences of actions deemed to undermine the republic. So this case, it transcends the immediate political implications for Trump and the 2024 election. It touches upon the core principles of our system, the rule of law, the balance of powers, and the sacred right of the people to choose their leaders. As the Supreme Court deliberates, the nation waits, poised to witness a decision that will undoubtedly shape the contours of our republic for years to come. Now, before we proceed to my final thought, an important message as we approach the pivotal 2024 election, it's crucial to understand the forces that are shaping our nation. My new book, The Silent Coup, peels back layers of political deception and media manipulation. In these transformative times, arm yourself with the truth and navigate the challenges with clarity. Get your copy today, and if you're lucky to get one, you might just find a special offer. So stay informed, stay empowered, and let's reclaim our future together. You will find the link in the description of this very video. And now, my final thought. As we close today's report, it's imperative to reflect on the significance of the Supreme Court's impending decision. This isn't merely about whether Donald Trump can or cannot be on the ballot. It's a testament to the enduring strength of our republic's foundations. At stake are the principles of our republic, the sanctity of the Constitution, and the right of the American people to choose their leaders. Whatever the outcome, this case reminds us of the fragility and resilience of our system. It underscores the necessity for vigilance and engagement and for an unwavering commitment to the values that define us as a republic. As Americans, we are bound not by our unanimous agreement, but by our shared dedication to navigate our differences within the framework of our Constitution. Let this moment be a call to reaffirm our commitment to our republic, to liberty, for which it stands. So thank you for watching. If you got value from this report, please tap subscribe and tell a friend.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.